I spent over 20 years in banking and finance. During COVID, I worked for one large fintech firm that went into liquidation. We found out on a Monday evening from Financial Times that the company is basically shutting down. You have a moment of realization and you start thinking, okay, well, what next? What now? I just had a message via LinkedIn. Somebody reached out asking for help. When an opportunity knocks, just say yes, then you'll figure out how it is going to land. So that was really my intro, if you like, into the entrepreneurial world. And that gave birth to consultancy, the startup community initially, the fundraising journey, and technical build later on as well.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ways to Wealth. Today I'm joined by Kristina. Kristina, why don't you give us the TLDR on who you are and what you get up to on a day-to-day basis?
Hi, Charlie. Thank you for having me. I'm Kristina Mydlar. I'm joining you from London, actually. I'm a founder of Mydlar Consulting, a boutique consultancy firm based here in London. We work with financial services and fintech organizations. We advise them around AI strategy, operational optimization. We also work with a tech team of 200, and we build bespoke technical solutions for this industry. And of course, nothing moves without money. We have therefore joined with a business partner who helps and supports on the fundraising side of things as well. They raised over £1 billion in equity for our clients. So this is, in a nutshell, what we offer. The focus is obviously around bringing the value for our customers, for our clients, and putting a whole ecosystem around them to make sure that they are successful in their entrepreneurial journey.
And it seems like your approach has been quite broad.
Our core is advisory, so we look at the internal setup, the processes, the structure, how the company operates. We look at the improvements, AI strategy where it makes sense, use cases that bring on a return on investment, and the other parts such as fundraising and technology are naturally linked with that at the moment.
And then is that kind of JV? Both of those are kind of joint ventures with delivery partners in there?
Yes, of course. I strongly believe that one should really focus on where they shine, where their expertise lies, and bring in others to the mix where they can really contribute with their knowledge and experience to support that holistically. So yes, indeed, we have therefore an external team of AI specialists, data scientists, go-to-market experts, a team that tests technical solutions, and of course, on the fundraising journey, it is not about relying on luck, but understanding how that world works, how to be funding ready, how to make sure that the story resonates with the right investors, and also building a strong ecosystem around the investor community, understanding what their focus is when they invest, what types of projects they're looking for. And that kind of comes hand in hand. You need to marry the two sides, basically.
And when you were focusing on capital raising at the moment, what's your sweet spot of investors?
So we focus on scaling businesses and more established businesses at the moment. So from say £2 million and up.
In revenues.
That is where we £2 million of funding requirement and up.
Right.
So this is where our sweet spot lies. This is where a majority of the investors that we work with are interested to deploy their capital. Of course, if it's a startup or someone with a really great idea, there are always other options and other opportunities how one can raise capital successfully.
For sure. And is there a type of investor that you guys typically have a relationship with? Is it family offices? Is it angels? What's the like typical kind of type of investor you guys have built relationships with?
It is a combination of either VC firms, angel investors, high net worth individuals, family offices. Sometimes it is a number of people that come together for a single investment, given that the size is rather large very often. And this is really what drives conversations. At the end of the day, it is all about the project, the innovative side of that project. Does the investor believe that it is going to really bring in the return that they expect? So it is usually a combination.
Yeah, cool. And what started you on the path? Why did you actually build the consultancy? What was the catalyst?
It's a very unexpected story, to be honest, because I spent over 20 years in banking and finance prior to setting up my own consultancy. During COVID, I worked for one large fintech firm that went into liquidation. We found out on a Monday evening from Financial Times that the company is basically shutting down. Then you have a moment of realization and you start thinking, okay, well, what next? What now? And I just had a message via LinkedIn. Somebody reached out asking for help. And I was following this quote or thought from Richard Branson: when an opportunity knocks on the door, just say yes, and then you'll figure out how exactly it is going to land. So that was really my intro, if you like, into the entrepreneurial world. And that gave basically the birth to the focus on the consultancy, the startup community initially, the fundraising journey, and technical build later on as well. Sometimes it's just unexpected things that turn the course of your own life story, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess, how did you go about winning your first client? You obviously had a bit of a network in the space, but it's very interesting, I find, with these kind of, I guess, consultancy plays, how you win your first client, because it's generally a very relationship driven business.
Very true, very true. Exactly like that. You need to be out there. You need to network, need to put your services, your skill set out there into the world. Be very present on social media, especially today. That's very, very relevant, so that you're communicating with the right audience, attracting the right client. And it's all about building a relationship, building the trust, delivering on it. It's a consistent conversation. So a lot of it was around networking. Obviously, you do the cold calling as well. You reach out to your network, ask for introductions through people that know how you work, that you can deliver on your promise, and that's really the starting point. So you normally go through your established contacts and then grow in exponential ways through second, third degree connections through those people as well.
And what would you say is really interesting in London right now when it comes to fintech? What's hot, what's interesting, what's the market kind of saying?
So at the moment, it's very much of a hustle culture. Everyone is talking about AI. You cannot go through a day without not mentioning that. Especially because we are focused on financial services and that market. It comes with a lot of questions, worries, anxiety, but also excitement. And it depends in which camp each and every person is. Sometimes a conversation with a client feels a little bit like a therapy session at the beginning to alleviate the worries, the stress that AI brings, at least in their mind. And once that's removed, we can look at opportunities and the use cases and where it brings impact. Or you can have a conversation with another group of people who are super excited about what AI brings. They're already trying it, testing it, rolling it out, pivoting, learning from potential mistakes along the way. So it is probably the most vibrant discussion wherever you go these days.
Yeah, for sure. And then what is the fundraising environment like in the UK right now, given that dynamic that we're seeing around a lot of uncertainty? It's very hard to allocate capital if there's uncertainty. So, like, are there questions being asked? What is the investor mindset right now?
There are a couple things, a couple dynamics basically in play at the very moment. One is if you're a founder and you're raising capital and you have not been on that journey before, trying to figure out and navigate the steps. How do you explain your story, your proposition? What kind of investors do you reach out to? All of that. That might seem like quite a hard work, basically. On the other hand, we also have investors who are really open and hungry for the right kind of projects. Given that a lot of opportunities that we look at include artificial intelligence, there's also a lot of focus on the valuations of these companies. And it feels a little bit that the valuations a little bit inflated. That's why we always work with the VCs as well and look at the piece of technology as well as part of the due diligence process. Normally, the focus is on the financials, the founders, their ability to bring in the return on the investment, and you focus on the product. But it's the zoom on the technology these days that I think is the new angle in how VCs are considering where they place their money. I would say there is no shortage of capital, but the quality of the projects are what we see as a little bit of an issue. Given that through AI tools you can really quickly build, and there's not always the quality that comes hand in hand with that. And that's a little bit of a concern. So I would say building the right product, testing it properly, making sure that what you're bringing to the client and to your customers actually solves the problem, rather than being very proud that you've built something and hoping that it will somehow stick. Having clarity who you're selling to, the right pricing model, that definitely are some of the key components of what the founder needs to be mindful of when they're raising, because a due diligence process through the investor community is really, really detailed at the moment. There are many ways how they can really zoom in, dive, and of course they do.
That's interesting. Are there any niches in financial services that are especially hot? Is it AI advice? That's kind of tip of the nose kind of thinking. But is there anything else that's kind of taking hold in the UK right now in terms of like micro kind of trends, or kind of like kind of areas where there's a lot of interest and maybe even there's a lot of adoption perhaps?
I would say a couple areas. Anything around payments at the moment, how to make it faster, more secure, more transparent, and better connected. Not just around the UK, but obviously with different parts of the world, different currencies. Crypto is also more and more of the focus of a lot of founders, banks, or financial institutions in general. And also very strong focus on compliance to make sure that the new laws, regulations are adhered to, and the technical solutions obviously follow that. So a lot of new pieces of technology that look at compliance, regulation, and different checks, due diligence related to that at the moment are probably the ones trending, I would say.
And then what is the kind of higher tier examples of products in the UK that are really going after wealth management and doing a good job?
Wealth management. I mean, in general, people are much more focused on being financially free, building solutions that can scale. So focus on the years ahead as well, rather than turning an immediate profit at within a very short space of time. So building generational wealth at the moment, that is really really key to a lot of people that I speak with. And never has it been a better time to do so. So wealth management, investments, whether that's into your own company or investing in other projects at the moment, that is quite a topic at the moment.
And what would success look like for you and your consultancy, like over the next 5 years? Like, what would the dream outcome or the dream state, rather than an outcome, perhaps maybe the dream state? You wake up 5 years from now, what does your day look like, and what does what does that look like?
I consider myself very fortunate because in the morning when I wake up, I'm genuinely looking forward to working with clients, looking at new innovative ideas, pushing projects forward, and really supporting people who come with a lot of energy, passion, determination. And it takes a lot of grit to get from A to B at the moment. It's a very, very competitive market. So our main purpose is to help, support, and serve our customers, build the trust, build a long-standing relationship. Because when a client is successful at let's say earlier stages, they still develop new features, new functionality, and we grow with them. So for us, that is the utmost importance to make sure that we basically support them holistically. That's why we don't just bring in the consultancy piece. We bring in partners for technology. We bring in partners for fundraising, but also a wider ecosystem, such as an idea needs to be protected, and therefore a conversation with an IP lawyer is essential. The cybersecurity angle for a lot of projects that we work on is also key. Fractional roles, for instance, especially for earlier stage founders, because obviously this really helps them with the cost management. And similar R&D, tax advisors to maximize the money that they have, and help them through that angle as well. So it all comes together with a wider community that works with the same client, but from different perspectives.
And what would you say your biggest challenge is?
It's a couple things, really. For us, it's also, like I said, managing the anxiety around AI, communicating also the value of what an advisor can really bring to the table, and where we really make a lot of difference. We look at a number of projects. We go through a number of businesses. We see their individual challenges, the problems and the solutions that work, and how others can very successfully apply that. So that is usually something that takes a bit of time and several rounds of meetings to really drill down to the value, to the basics that we bring to the table. It's a highly competitive market in terms of AI consultants or advisors in general. So how to break through that competitive layer to show them that we really bring the right kind of expertise and support to them. So I would say these two things mainly.
Yeah, interesting. And how many of the fintechs are actually operating in multiple jurisdictions?
It depends at what stage you are. If you are a startup, normally it makes a lot of sense to be focused in one geographic area first and get it right, and then look at expansion. The more established businesses, they are obviously operating in multiple jurisdictions, and they're very much looking to expand, whether that's across Europe or immediately start thinking about the US market. So that's normally the trend. It depends. It depends where they are in their journey. Where they are in their fundraising journey as well, and that really determines maturity of the product as well, dictates whether they are ready to serve other jurisdictions as well. Being really mindful that the laws, regulations are also evolving, and making sure that they comply within those geographic locations as well.
Oh, interesting. And like, is there any AI winner that you've seen at the moment in the UK in terms of fintech that's actually working, or is it still is there yet to be a real standout winner? You know, at the end of the day, I think the real winner in AI so far has been programming and programming products predominantly. Of course, you know, all your foundation models and their chat interfaces and stuff, and their suite of tools is obviously expanding. But, you know, the real value that I think has been seen for an extended period of time has been the increased productivity in programming. So have there been any fintech use cases where you can say it feels really AI, like in terms of the user experience and the actually how it works, how it's delivered, or not yet?
I would say in this regulated market, there's a lot of the financial services companies are regulated or connected to the regulated market. They are a winner if they already made their first move. Because it's still a phase that everybody understands that it is something that they need to think about, but have they taken any active steps to start implementing it, integrating it in their processes, understanding where AI makes sense? So very often there are reports, white papers written by companies, and that's basically where they are. They're observing. Some of them have obviously, they're more adventurous, more open to trying, testing, pivoting, and so on. So they go on and, for instance, look at optimizing their operations, where a lot of things are done manually. Can it be replaced by some AI tools? ChatGPT or Claude is just really dipping toes in the AI, but having real solutions that help you elevate your game, serve your customers better. That's a real difference. That's the change that we are truly looking for, and especially in the financial services industry, what we are seeing, the bigger players. The data inconsistency and the siloed data is an issue. So cleaning up the data and going through that exercise, going through that process is something that still needs to happen. A lot of legacy systems that are not necessarily interconnected. That's sort of blocking the progress and the integration. We are also seeing a lot of issues around the basics, and that is the companies have not fully formed their internal processes. They don't fully understand their operating model internally, and you can't put AI on top of that. Because it's just going to magnify all the issues, and then people are very quick to blame AI, but essentially it's them not doing the homework at all, or or correctly. So that's where it stands at the moment.
Yeah, cool. And you're obviously not from the UK, but you work in the space, and I'd love to know, like, are you optimistic about the UK then?
Every country has their challenges. I'm originally from Slovakia, made in Slovakia. Every country has their challenges. It's also, when it's a challenging environment, there is an opportunity that lies in it. So the ones that crack the code, that will figure out what drives the conversation, what people are trying to solve as problems, what are they willing to pay for, those people are going to really, really thrive even in this environment right now.
Yeah, cool. What would you say the most unexpected thing you've learned over the last 12 months has been?
I think I initially didn't realize or underestimated how much of a mindset shift there has to be when one starts their own business. It's not just about going through the admin, like setting it up and finding the right accountant, having your legal side of things sorted, but how do you really approach this new chapter in your life? All the challenges that come with hearing the no a lot, especially from the start. How do you build the resilience? How do you keep going? Who do you ask for advice? What does your community look like? All of that. So a really, really solid mindset shift is required when one wants to be truly successful and is buckled up for a long haul and wants to run their business. And especially if it's a shift from a job that they've had for a long time, when there is obviously a team and regular salary, and moving on to being a founder. So that's a profound change in someone's life, and I believe that it's best to speak with others who have been there before, having a role model that gives you sort of a perspective where you want to be in the next couple months or years. So where you're heading to, what does that look like?
Awesome. Okay, cool. Fascinating. And do you think you're going to stay in the UK over the long haul yourself?
I've not made any
And
definitive
any other plans?
at the
It's quite
moment.
nice when you're in London or Europe because you can easily. It's not so much of a commitment, right? In New Zealand, like I think for people that live in New Zealand, it can feel quite far away. Although lots of people visit here, and it is quite accessible. But as a normal human, you're like, oh, well, I'd go, a career worker especially, right? You'd be like, okay, I might go to Australia. And that's been something that's happened and the UK, right? It's actually very common in New Zealand for people to go to the UK for their overseas experience, and then Australia too. And actually we lose a lot of talent here to those countries.
I feel that we are living in a much more interconnected world, and the limitations are literally just in our heads. So depends what you're doing. If you're obviously selling a physical product, that is probably a different consideration than to someone who is more mobile through their line of work. We have a lot of conversations with clients over a Zoom call or Teams meeting, and things happen that way as well. And therefore, the actual physical location doesn't really matter that much. We also spoke about investments. You can really invest anywhere in any part of the world, right? It's all about understanding what you're investing into, being comfortable with that, and doing proper checks and due diligence before you do so. So I don't think it's as limited. again, depends also what your personal circumstances are. If your family is around, or if you need to look after the children at that stage, you're probably not going to move so easily. But again, it's not impossible. So it's really up to the lifestyle you want to lead, the type of business that you want to run, and also how much you want to expand. It can be also a phased life
Approach.
journey where you start in, let's say, New Zealand, and then make it to the US or settle somewhere in Europe. So it doesn't have to be one location for life.
True.
It's a personal choice how you want to navigate that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod and having a chat to me. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristina.
All the best.